haven't seen it, well, we're gonna spoil it.
Spoil it in your face.
That's your warning. So if you get pissed, it's all your fault. Woo-hoo. Woo-hoo.
Shut it down and put it up. This is Eddie Collins.
Guys, it's Justin Brown.
And we are Medium Popcorn, niggas spoiling movies. And listen, folks, it's the new year, so new us, right? In the past, we've been doing re-release episodes during these off weeks, but Justin and I came together and we're like, hey, let's bring back the movie news. Let's bring back some trailer reactions and stuff like that. So, folks, if you enjoy this content, please let us know. Tweet at us at Medium P Podcast or sign up for Patreon at patreon.com/Medium Popcorn. Just let us know that you're enjoying this extra content, because if none of y'all say anything, Justin and I going to go back to re-releasing episodes and just upsetting new fans, because apparently they're like, they don't realize that we're releasing episodes for like 5 years ago. We had completely different mindsets.
Oh yeah, we were a little bit crazier back.
Yeah, and less mature and stuff. You know, we have things to lose now, so
Yeah.
we're cautious in our language. But again, folks, hope you enjoy this stuff, because we're recording this on January 5th. So anything that comes out after this date, just know, hey, you know, they recorded this after, you know, or before the fact or something.
Look for it in the next one.
But the first one up is, and Justin, I know this won't excite you at all, but Avatar: The Way of the Water has made over $1.4 billion in worldwide ticket sales as of this recording. It's it's the fastest film to get to $1 billion in 2022. And it's so wild because I know you refuse to see it. Visually, it is stunning. It's incredible. But outside of Jake Sully, I could not tell you any of the other characters in this movie's name. Right. Fair. And that's just because they say Jake Sully's name so many fucking times.
Jake Sully.
Yeah. It's so wild how much money this thing is making. And James Cameron came out and said it essentially has to be like the top 3 films of all time, gross wise.
Yeah, to make a profit. Yeah.
It's so
and
wild.
I don't want him to have it. I don't want him to have it.
He's going to, man. At this pace, he's going to. It hasn't even been out a month. It hasn't been out a month, Justin.
I don't know why people gravitate to this film. I mean, to even the Avatar, you know, thing, because like the first one, I was so underwhelmed by the film as a whole. It's like, yeah, you know, it looked cool, but other than that, I don't know why anybody went back to go for a continuation of this story. Outside of it looking cool, it was trash.
I will say I thought Avatar: Way of the Water is better than the first one, because I think there's more interesting characters. I also, and folks, don't look at me sideways on this, there's this green female love interest. I thought she was hot. I don't know what's going on, what that means about me. But anyways, but yeah, I mean, bro, we were talking to someone yesterday about, wait, was it with you? Where essentially the avatars are becoming the Avatar, the Airbender series, with the different like elements and shit.
Really?
Yeah, because it's like it's water. James Cameron said the next one's gonna have fire Na'vi, and then some motherfuckers are just like, oh, so air Na'vi and rock Na'vis, and essentially, from what I've heard, that's the sequels, because he's making like 5 of these.
Oh, and after the first, I will not see another one.
I know.
If you bring it up, just know that I'm not going to be on that episode.
I know people keep asking, are you guys going to do Avatar? I'm like, not based on Justin's stance. We will not. Or at the very least, maybe we'll pull like It, or like you know, one of those episodes in the past where like the guest didn't watch the movie and we explain it to them. We could do some, but this is a 3-hour, like almost 3.5 hour movie, so I'm not going to break that down for you.
Yeah. No, they're just not going to do it.
But as of now, because of the lack of competition, I mean, Megan does come out this weekend, but it's barely, I mean, even if it does well, it's barely going to put a dent into Avatar's momentum.
No, I don't think so.
Although I will say the overseas, you know, box office is definitely doing the heavy lifting. I think domestically it's starting to slow down a little bit, but nonetheless, this is going to make, I mean, it still has to make like another $1 billion to be profitable, but you know.
Yeah, and again, I hope it doesn't.
other movie news, Jeremy Renner is in critical but stable condition after
Yeah, man.
snowplow accident. So he pushed a family member out of the way, or he was helping a family member, and then he got crushed by the snowmobile, is what I read.
Yeah, something like that. I know he was shoveling snow. And he
Mhm.
was basically helping he was shoveling out, the driveway so family
Yeah.
members could leave, and then helping also like some of his nearby neighbors. And then that's when the accident happened.
Oh, he's
But
pulling a
like, yeah,
Cory Booker.
bro, he's
He got fucked up apparently.
yeah, like it's a serious accident. It's a serious accident. Blunt force trauma. Like he was very close to having, you know, Marvel, being down another.
Yeah. Because I mean, snowmobiles are fucking huge. And like
Yeah.
from what I've read, at least one of his legs got ran over. And I guess he had some blunt force trauma to his chest.
Yeah.
So he had like a lot of internal bleeding and he lost a lot of blood. Yeah, I mean, I don't know if he's gonna be doing anything Marvel anytime soon. I don't know what the plans were for Hawkeye, but it sounded like you said it's pretty significant.
Yeah, I mean, and I know I put it on Patreon. It's just like, not even as a fan, of of his work, or even or anything, or just thinking about Marvel, what they're gonna do. It's just like, just for his family, man. Just him as a human being. And I know that German brought some problematic stuff in the news in the last few years.
Yeah, with
But
his baby mama, right? Or
yeah,
ex-wife. Yeah.
so like, it's just terrible to hear. And just hopefully he can have a speedy recovery, on
Definitely.
it. So that's tough.
Yeah. Yeah. Wishing you a speedy recovery, Mr. Renner. And also be nicer to your baby mama. Yeah.
Your
Even
significant
if she
others.
even if she is just going after your money, think about your kid. Think about your kid and what you say publicly. In other Marvel news, this is a little bit more positive. Hugh Grant recently did an interview, a video where he pleaded for Academy voters, and I guess this is supposed to be a little cheeky to encourage them to vote for the song. Best original song that Ryan Reynolds apparently wrote for the Apple TV movie Spirited, which I have not seen. It's like with him and Will Ferrell, I guess.
Yeah.
Um,
Will
and
Ferrell looks crazy.
yeah, I mean, but Will Ferrell always looks crazy,
No,
especially like
but
older Will Ferrell.
I mean, yeah, because it's his eyes, man.
Yeah, they've got the crow's feet now. He looks crazy.
No, and it also is just like he has this look where he's looking through your soul.
Well, I mean, he's
Will Ferrell's
he's
little-
probably been in some dark places. I mean, he fell out with one of his best friends in the business, Adam McKay. So
That's true.
I can
That's
see
true.
that. But Hugh Grant in the video said, "It would make the next year of my life insufferable. I mean, I have to spend a year with him shooting Wolverine and Deadpool."
Yes.
So folks are assuming that that's the official title for Deadpool 3, which is due out, I believe, next year.
Well, and then Ryan Reynolds actually answered that. He's like, Wolverine and Deadpool, or Deadpool and Wolverine. So like, so
yeah.
basically in a way kind of, confirming that that very much might be the title for the film.
Yeah, and I love it, man. I think I love their chemistry. I love like they've been having this back and forth for like years now, and so for them to finally get together and portray their characters in a different way than X-Men, Wolverine Origins or whatever the fuck that was.
Yeah, it's terrible.
And get to play off each other. I think it could be a lot of fun. Although I have heard Ryan Reynolds is so meticulous that he actually takes the fun out of the comedies he does. But
Okay.
you know.
Well, now I don't know if you heard anything about the script of this film now. Or have you heard anything?
I haven't heard any specific rumors. I just know that one of the writers worked on, I believe, Bob's Burgers.
Okay, so what I've been hearing is that this may be like a thing where the TVA is actually involved in it.
Oh yeah, because Owen Wilson, I believe, is going to be in it, right?
Yeah. So
Yeah.
like, and they're time jumping. So like when you had, the last Deadpool where he gets the, time jump thing and he starts jumping through time, whatever, somehow they're able to start crossing over into different eras. I mean, a different, what you call it? Dimensions. Multiverse.
Which is what, yeah. Okay. So that's a perfect segue actually into the new rumor mill from on comicbookmovie.com. So supposedly Avengers Secret War, which we know that we have Avengers the King Legacy or
Dynasty, I think.
Dynasty, yep. And then after that is Avengers Secret War. And according to heavy spoilers, they have a reporter that said, from what I've heard about Secret Wars, they basically want to do Endgame, but with the multiverse instead of time travel. Instead of going to key points in the MCU like they did with Endgame, they'll be traveling to key universes across the wider Marvel universe. And the rumor is that the big bad is going to be the Beyonder, although he'll just be a King variant in the MCU, which means Jonathan Majors is going to make all the money as a Marvel. But this also explains reports that Tobey Maguire's Spider-Man will share the screen with Hugh Jackman's Wolverine. I think it's really smart because they could do essentially what we talked about with, like, we thought Doctor Strange might do, and go through all these different universes. You could have Mahershala and Wesley have a moment. Like, you could do all these things. And it doesn't mean you have to spend time in those multiverses, like more than like a scene or two.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Especially depending on who the catalyst is for moving through, what the catalyst is for moving through these multiverses. So I'm incredibly excited about that.
I also think, it also gives, a lot of actors who were not a part of the Marvel cinematic universe an opportunity to eat a little bit and, and kind of get their flowers because they were the original people,
Exactly.
Yeah. So I'm here for it.
It feels like a good way to reset and start doing like mutants and stuff like that, but also pay homage to everything that came before.
Indeed.
Right. So even if they had the original, like Chris Evans as the Human Torch and like Michael Chiklis back as the thing and stuff, like, I think that could just be like a quick, because it works so well with No Way Home.
Yeah.
That if they do like it just in sprinkles, I think that could be really, really fun.
Yeah, for sure.
Other Marvel news, Black Panther Wakanda Forever will be released officially on Disney Plus on February 1st. So folks be on the lookout for that. But recently, Ryan Coogler came out in an interview in New York Times where he pulled back the curtain on what the original story before Chadwick's unfortunate passing was going to be. And apparently the original idea was to deal with the blip from Avengers Infinity War and Avengers Endgame, whereby Thanos had dusted half of the life in the universe. So Ryan said, what are we going to do about the blip? That was the challenge. It was absolutely nothing like what we made. It was going to be a father-son story told from the perspective of the father, because the first film had a father-son story from the perspective of the son. And essentially, T'Challa was a dad who had been given a forced 5-year absence from his son's life. The first scene was an animated sequence. You hear Nakia telling their son, Toussaint, she says, tell me what you know about your father. You realize that he doesn't know his dad was the Black Panther. He's never met him. And Nakia is remarried to a Haitian dude. Then we cut to reality, and it's the night that everyone comes back from the blip. You see T'Challa meet the kid for the first time. And that would have been incredible. And I'm so sad that they didn't get to do that. Yeah. Because it's, we've talked about this before with Marvel. I'm like, they've never fully had a character address the trauma of the blip.
Yeah,
like, it's 5 years. Like, the closest we got was Paul Rudd coming back in Endgame and realizing his daughter's 5 years older than we last saw her. But, I was just like, damn, I really want to see that. And it sounds like Chadwick was going to be the one to tell that story. So,
well, and then the movie actually takes place 3 years past Chadwick coming back after the blip. So it's basically 8 years in the future. So this, and then they're going, if you want to guys go check out the entire article, they'll talk about the fact that basically they're doing kind of like that, kind of like a rite of passage that him and his son go on, and then Namora comes in, and then like it's them together. Basically dealing with this whole new threat and everything.
Yep. So the plan was always to set up that he had a son to eventually probably take over, and then then you're setting up essentially to have that's that kid, and then whoever they get to play Miles Morales being like 2 black males leading their own franchises, which would have been cool. And they could still do that. They could still do it. Just unfortunately, Toussaint will have the trauma of his father actually passing and stuff. Yeah. We had one more Marvel thing, or actually, no, it's all DC from here.
Yeah, it's all DC from here.
It's all DC from here.
It's all DC from here.
Long story short, folks, Variety had a really interesting article that essentially talked about how Dwayne Johnson tried to take over the DC universe because there's this power vacuum. That's why he shoehorned Henry Cavill in the Black Adam. And apparently people at Warner Brothers were not into that. So essentially, they paused conversations with him, developing more Black Adam stuff. James Gunn recently came out and debunked that Wonder Woman is not going to be included in the new plans, even though Wonder Woman 3 has kind of been put on pause because Patty Jenkins has left. There's been different reports about why she left or why the story that she wrote didn't go forward. But nonetheless, James Gunn essentially has confirmed that Wonder Woman will be part of the new plan that he put out. I think there are slates like 8 to 10 years that they planned out, and they plan on revealing some of it this month. But also remember, DC also had a several-year plan before, and barely any of that came to fruition because of the response to Batman v Superman. However, the Variety article also stated in regards to DC that apparently the executives are open to working with Ezra Miller because he's kept out of trouble the past few months since his mental breakdowns or their mental breakdowns last year. And obviously a lot of folks feel a certain type of way about this. I don't feel great because they canceled Batgirl, which starred an Afro-Latino actress. And from
You're
all
giving
accounts,
this asshole, more than a second chance, a 12th chance.
Yep. And I keep hearing it's because the Flash is testing so well that they don't want to burn that bridge with Ezra, just in case people like his iteration of Barry Allen so well that they want to bring him back for future projects.
Yeah, they need to burn that bridge. They need to burn that bridge. And the fact that they're not burning that bridge is actually only going to play into even worse behavior from him in the future. People need to lose things. And it's, we're not talking about things like it's, oh, he made a mistake. No, he was on some bullshit for a while. And then, of course, everyone's like, oh, it's mental health. It's just like, yeah, but there's still consequences in this world.
Yeah, I mean, he's grabbing and slamming women and stuff like that, and doing apparently abducting people. All these accusations,
breaking into people's homes while they're sleeping. He's lucky he didn't catch a bullet, bro.
Mm-hmm. Yep. So it's frustrating. Absolutely.
Well, this is the thing that bothers me about it is it's mental health, and a lot of this is probably he's having a mental health issue, right? But and again, by saying this, I'm not condoning this other person's actions, but Kanye West, we all know he has mental health issues, and with everything going on, it's just like they were quick to bury this guy and just completely destroy and take everything away. But you have this guy that they don't want to, because he did something good, they don't want to ruin him. I was like, bro, that's like, it's really just
it's upsetting because it's a double standard. It's always a double standard for white actors and actresses. It's crazy because our people lose stuff all the time. I mean, Tiffany Haddish, she essentially said she just relies on stand-up now.
Yeah.
Because after that whole controversy with that creepy ass kid video,
yeah,
which later than the kids didn't retract it. I don't know what exactly happened with that, but I know that she said that she lost gigs overnight. She lost films overnight. So, and that's just one accusation. This brother has a rap sheet at this point.
Mm-hmm. Yep. So, but you know what? He tested, the movie tested really well. So we don't want to burn that bridge, right? It's
yeah, that's wild.
Yeah.
That's wild that we're getting to that place. But
no, we're not getting that place. We're right back to where we started. We thought we had gotten a little bit better than this, but we're not.
We're not. Imagine though we do see the Flash and we're like, yo, that might be one of the best comic book movies ever. we both were like, because Michael Keaton's still going to be in it, so we might be like, that shit was actually really good.
Yeah, but it doesn't matter how good. But
regardless,
it is. It doesn't matter how good it is. That doesn't make it. Actually, it makes it even worse if that movie's really good, because that just shows just like he had every opportunity to do all the right things, and he just pissed it all away. Like for me, I'm not supporting Ezra Miller. Like I don't think that we should support him, and I don't want to support him. Of course, that's a big film, and
that's not fair to the creatives outside of him.
Exactly, and that's the thing. It's like it's not, but like if Ezra Miller outside of certain things, like he's not gonna get my money. Like I don't want to give him any burn coverage. It's just like he hasn't even issued any apologies. He's just out there just living life.
They posted something on Instagram, I think, or some shit like that. They made some social media statement, but it was the bare minimum. I mean, at that point, they were talking about scrapping the film. You know what I mean? So you got to protect the bank in any way you can at that point. But yeah, we'll see what happens. I mean, obviously James Gunn, he has a plan that I would be hesitant if I were him too to like reveal the full thing because no matter what, he's gonna lose. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
But
yeah.
I do know that Peacemaker, I think, is still involved in this whatever he's planning on doing. But that's also a great show and kind of you could always just you could always go back in the first episode, just take away the flashback from the Suicide Squad movie, or even just be like, that's the Suicide Squad, like because it doesn't really connect with the David Ayer one. So you could honestly be like that's the Suicide Squad is the beginning of my new iteration of the DC universe or some shit.
I mean, but to be totally honest, the Suicide Squad, all that stuff changes and things like
Yeah.
like the cast changes and everything.
Yeah.
So they can like that just happened. That was just one thing that happened, and they just go somewhere else.
Oh wait, but then at the end of Peacemaker, doesn't he run into the Flash and
And
Aquaman?
wonder, yeah, but they're all blacked out. You don't see anybody.
You see Ezra Miller and Jason Momoa.
I don't think you do. They're
Yeah,
all
because
shadowed.
no, because he says the thing about fucking a fish, and Jason Momoa is like, why does everyone always say that? Yeah, yeah. So, I mean, they can figure something out, but
Yeah.
I'm not trying. Like, I think James Gunn needs to stay just for his mental health. I think he should just stay off social media. He responds way too much. I mean,
Mhm.
it's good because you get clarifications on articles and things, rumors in real time from him. But at the same time, he's also going to protect the bag. So even some rumors that may be true, he's not going to confirm that because then it gives away the treasures.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
but hey, we'll see. But speaking of giving away the treasures, so we're gonna now talk about movie trailers and teasers.
Baby.
And the Scream 6 teaser came out, which gives us a little glimpse into what they're gonna do with Ghostface in New York City. And I, for one, am very excited. It's like a minute and a half long, but I'm also terrified for what this is gonna do to New York City because I've always thought, hey, New York City is a pretty easy place for a nigga to dress up in a Halloween costume and start stabbing motherfuckers.
It is.
And also the fact
It
that there's
is.
multiple ghost faces on that same train, I'd be like, oh, motherfucker. Especially if I know a nigga dressed like that is coming after me.
Listen, this is the thing, though. New York City is a place where people's like, I'm keeping myself, fuck you, nigga, whatever,
Yeah.
And especially on the trains, right?
Mhm.
If a motherfucker starts stabbing people on a full train, it's not gonna go well for him. It's not. Like, it's not gonna go well for him. Actually, depending on where that train is. Let's frame it like that. Depending where that train is, because you get on the wrong train in New York City and you start the bullshit, you about to have a bad day. You about to have a bad day.
But think about Halloween, everyone's drunk and dressed up like they're a fucking goblin or a slutty witch. And, I mean, I just wait right before like the doors open for the next stop. I just go run up to the person I want to stab and stab, and just jump out. It's like prison. Just shank a nigga, but with a big ass hunting knife.
Yeah, I mean, I guess so. I don't know, especially being on the train where some shit had went down. Is just like I've seen some shit, and like when New Yorkers band together, nah, you don't want that smoke.
That's true. That's true. I mean,
you do not want that smoke.
Think about
you ain't going nowhere.
Yeah, Spider-Man 2, Spider-Man 1, when the Green Goblin and Doc Ock came against some New Yorkers, they left real quick. They're like, fucking punks. All right. So earlier, late last year, we got a teaser for You People, which stars Jonah Hill and Eddie Murphy. It's written by Jonah Hill and Kenya Barris from Blackish.
And the delicious Nia Long.
Well, we'll talk about that in a second. But you had said, hey, I think this is going to be funny. And I was like, that teaser was terrible. And you're like, I thought it was funny. But then we got a full trailer recently. And I will say, now I'm excited. Like, now that we have like a sense of the comedy and everything. By the way, I've been to that Roscoe's Chicken and Waffles over here.
So have I. I've been to all the Roscoe Chicken and Waffles in LA.
But yeah, I laughed quite a few times in this. I think it's going to be like a good take on Guess Who's Coming to Dinner.
Yes.
Updated version of that. And I honestly think that it'll be good for the country. I think it'll be good for the country to kind of work through some of the political conversations and things like that we've been.
And
avoiding.
also, the whole, Black and Jewish thing, which also Julianne Dreyfus is in this movie. And I
all the actresses, I was like, yes. Like, it was like Nia Long. Well, first it was Lauren London.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, oh, yeah. And then it was Nia Long, and I'm just like, oh yeah. By the way, Nia Long is on the best. Obviously, all the cast returned to the Best Man, the Final Chapters TV show.
Mm.
Shout out to my mentor Malcolm D. Lee. But yo, Nia Long is so fucking bad in this series. I think I texted you and some friends. I was like, how did that nigga cheat on her? Like, this is, I don't care if she's the evilest person behind doors. If she slaps the fuck out of him, I mean, obviously you don't want to abuse your spouse and no one should have their hands on them. But I'm just like, yo, I just any, like, I don't care if she's had the spiciest burrito and it's to get out of her body. I'm licking everything.
Oh no.
But yeah, and then Julia Louis-Dreyfus pops up, and I was just like, "Yep, this is great."
Yeah,
Put that in the sandwich. That's a good Oreo. That's a good Oreo.
That's not even Oreo. That's not even Oreo.
Yeah, because it'd be like a. Yeah. Anyways,
it'd be like one of those weird cookies you used to get from like Stop and Shop or something like that. But it's like the off-brand shit. It's like you have the vanilla wafer, then you have this like weird orangey filling, and then you got the chocolate on the other side.
Yep. Oh, honey. But yeah, I'm excited for the movie now.
It looked really good. Yeah. I literally, it was a very, very strong laughs that I was getting on that one.
Definitely.
You got out of me.
Yeah, I'm excited for that pairing, that dynamic, just the two of them kind of going at each other. Another new trailer that recently dropped is Reinfeld, starring Nicholas Hoult from The Menu and The Great TV show, and Nicolas Cage as Dracula.
So what's funny?
Yeah.
I was when I saw the trailer, I was just like, wait a second, is that that's not Nicolas Cage? No, that's not Nicolas Cage. I'm like, oh my god, that's Nicolas Cage.
Yep. He looks as crazy as you thought he would when you hear Nicolas Cage as Dracula. But yeah, the effects aren't finished. Probably, at least I hope they're not, because I was getting some serious Morbius meets John Wick vibes off of this. And so I'm hoping it's a little bit better. It seems like Reinfeldt has powers similar to a vampire in this movie, but he has to eat creatures instead of blood. Because he bites into a spider and then his eyes go all vampire-y, and he starts jumping around and doing some crazy karate moves. So yeah, I'm not as excited as I thought I would be after seeing the casting of Nicolas Cage, but I also think that the trailer didn't tell us enough about what's going to happen to just keep us slightly interested. So what did you think, though?
I thought it came off. It is a very goofy trailer. Mm-hmm. It's a very goofy trailer. But we got Nicolas Cage and Awkwafina in this as well. And once Nicolas Cage, I was just like, oh my god. You know what I'm saying? Nicolas Cage is the great equalizer in this film for me, because like I was like, okay, this could be interesting. That's my immediate reaction. Like, okay, this could be interesting. Yep. And then once I saw Nicolas Cage, I was just like, oh boy. Like, oh fucking boy. I think Nicolas Cage is this is one of those things where he's made for this. Because he can elevate this movie to a whole nother level of just fucking craziness. But also the guy who was playing the therapist, or the group leader, Brandon Scott Jones. I've worked with Brandon Scott Jones a ton of times, through like UCB and just different sketches over the years. And like, he is such a funny cat. He's a really good talent. He has great instincts. So I just want to say that, like, I'm really happy to see him, kind of getting his burn and, getting a great acknowledgement. He was a really fun, he's a really fun guy to work with. He's a really nice guy. Yeah.
I also heard a comedian,
Ben Schwartz is in it.
Ben Schwartz, Andrew Schultz from Flagrant 2 is in it, and Sam J, she's in the trailer. So yeah. And even though she hasn't done Drunk by History yet, she's been cool. We talked a lot about getting her on, stuff like that. So that's exciting. Like, I'm looking forward to that. But I mean, you people, but yeah, in this, I don't know why I confused that with Reinfeldt. My bad, y'all.
Yep.
I was like, let me go back to that first trailer we talked about. Another trailer that came out not too long ago was Creed 3, starring and directed by Michael B. Jordan, and he's going against Jonathan Majors, who got fucking shredded and is going to fuck him up. But it sounds like there's a backstory, but they were both in juvie together. And Michael B. Jordan did a video where he talked about filming a lot of the fight scenes in IMAX, which this is apparently the first fighting film to ever be filmed in IMAX, which I didn't know.
Sports film.
Sports film. Yeah, that's right.
Sports inspired film. So I'm actually really excited for that. And it's funny because Paula said to me, she was just like, actually, I kind of want to see that in the IMAX. I'm just like, actually, I'm actually interested. I don't like the IMAX.
Yeah.
I think it's just racket. But like, she was like, this, I actually kind of like to see this in IMAX. I'm like, yeah, I'm down for that. I'll pay for that. I also love the Creed series.
Yeah,
but then she went and fucked it up by saying, is like Michael B. Jordan might even look even better in IMAX. I said, you see,
Yeah,
but I'm not Brandon, so I'm not gonna hold that. I'm not gonna hold that against Michael B. Jordan because he's a handsome man.
I have a Michael B. Jordan diss in my new script. Tati's like, do you really need this? I'm like, yes, I do. But nonetheless, I'm excited for Creed 3. It looks great. And yeah, I will see it on IMAX, even though I've been traumatized ever since we got racially profiled and yelled at the Warner Brothers screening for The Matrix Resurrections. I'm never going to let that go, by the way. I don't care if Warner Brothers never invites me to another screening. That's so fucked up. What happened to us. Yeah, I just can't let it go. I'm sorry.
Yep, and pull us out. Pulled
us out and then immediately let us go back.
Yeah.
Folks, if you don't know what we're talking about, on YouTube, we did a Matrix Resurrections review under youtube.com/medium popcorn. Watch it. We talk about our experience dealing with Warner Brothers at the very beginning. Incredibly embarrassing, but I mean, and then to make things worse, the movie was god awful.
Yeah, terrible.
At least if it had been good, it would have been worth maybe some of that uncomfortable tension, but nope. Just
shit on her face.
Yep. Real quick though about Creed 3 before we go to the next trailer, his mustache looks goofy, right? Michael B. Jordan. When he comes out, walking to the car, he got that green hoodie. I was like, that mustache. You try to look older, but you still look like a baby. I mean, it might also be homage to Apollo, who had the fucking mustache as well.
I mean, I'd have to look at it, but I also just think you a hating ass nigga.
That's probably a little bit of both. There's a little bit of both.
Probably more of the hate. This is probably more of the hate flowing through your blood right now.
We also had a new trailer for the M. Night Shyamalan film Knock at the Cabin, starring Dave Bautista. Looks very creepy, and it's interesting because it makes you wonder: okay, are these people like just crazy, and it just happens to be a coincidence that shit in the world's going wrong? Or are they legit serious when they're like, one of y'all has to die? Like one of this 3-member family has to go.
Yeah. It's funny because like, so I was watching most of the trailers with Paula, and this came up, which I think this is a very interesting looking movie. Like at the very least.
All of his money, that's what he does. He's the ultimate honey dicker. He's like, I got you some honey. Come and get it, Boo Bear. And then you go, and then it's like, it's actually a fucking spike.
Got another one.
Like fucking Pennywise.
So, and then I look at Paul, I'm just like, you realize this happened. It's me dying, right? She's like, no, maybe it's me. I'm just like, Paula. Let's be honest here. It's like him downstairs, him being me. He's like, I'm not gonna kill Jackson, not gonna kill Axel, and of all people, the person who's replaceable is probably me. So I guess I gotta go. I mean, having a father that that died, under these circumstances, whatever, is far more acceptable than saying, hey, my mom had to be sacrificed. Yeah. Nobody's gonna believe that, and they're just going to take me to prison.
Yep, especially after like 28 weeks later, when the dad's like, "Yeah, mom, she couldn't get out." It was like, "Nigga, you left her. Like, what are you talking about?" Yeah, I mean, for me, if I saw a nigga that looked like Dave Bautista, like nervously twitching the way he is when he's giving the explanation about why they're there. Yeah. I'd be like, and then also Ron Weasley's in the corner with a shovel. I'd be like, oh no.
Yeah.
Like, none of us are getting out of here. They said just one of us. Day. But it would be interesting though if like they actually are just like crazy people. But then again, and this is what I was telling Tatiana when we watched the trailer. I'm like, but they really can't go that route because then that'd be another film that M. Night's done about mental illness, and you know he handled it well in Split, but then the Glass movie was fucking trash, and so it kind of negated everything cool he did in Split. So I'm like, I don't know if he wants to go down that road, but you never know. Maybe he's like, I can go back to the well and I can make it right.
Yeah.
It would be better if like because it's a gay couple and their adopted daughter. It'd be funny if one of the fathers is like in bad financially, in like some terrible financial debt, and needs the other one to get killed so they can collect on the insurance. Because that happens sometimes, I just recently watched that Michael Douglas Gwyneth Paltrow movie, A Perfect Murder, where he essentially sets up his wife to get killed so he can get an insurance money.
Listen, man, I don't want to have this conversation because I just got insurance. I'm fine.
Do you have life insurance?
Yeah, we have life insurance.
Do you have it together?
No, we have it separately.
So
she has one, I have one.
But from the same company?
Yes.
Okay, because I'm like, it's the same payout for either one of you, right?
No.
Is it more for us? Is it more for men? Is it more for men or more for women?
It depends how you set it up. Paulus is more.
How we set it up.
I'm definitely worth more dead than alive. But Paula's worth substantially more dead than I.
It's gonna be public, right? This could be evidence. Oh my
That's
God.
Like I tell Paul all the time. I say, keep it up. Me, Jackson, Nax are gonna have to find a new mommy. In Miami. No, we on the Columbia bitches.
Oh boy. But color us intrigued about the new M. Night Shyamalan movie. But again, he does that all the time. You're like intrigued, and then you see the thing, and it's like Russian roulette these days with his movies. It really is.
It's like you go like, okay, like that looks interesting, and all of a sudden the movie ends. You're like, God damn it!
Yeah, I still remember Glass. Like halfway through that movie, to me, it was almost one of the best sequels ever. Like there's up to a certain point, I would say about 40 minutes when Bruce Willis gets arrested and like they're in that insane asylum together, and Samuel Jackson takes over and has the Unbreakable music from that fucking movie, and then like it kicks in and Bruce Willis barges through the door. I was just like, I remember leaning over to a friend of the show and Patreon supporter Jason and being like, yo, this is fantastic. And then it just shit the bed right after that. Like it just nosedives into the pits of dog shit.
You shit the bed, Brandon.
I know.
You shouldn't have said nothing. Anytime you jinx a movie like that, like, yo, this is the best movie ever. Yeah. And all of a sudden something happens.
Yeah.
Shut your mouth.
I am a bad luck charm. That happened to me at a Mets game. One time I accidentally shot out the wrong team, and this little kid in front of me was like, shut up. And then immediately like the Mets fucked up. Like the other team like got like 2 bases, and the kid was just so mad at me. Because I said the other team, and I was like, let's go Orioles or whatever the fuck. And I was like, oh wait, I mean Mets. And then the kid 2 bases, and the kid's just like, God damn it. And one of them's a home run. Yeah, I felt bad. It's Brandon jinx.
Yeah. Jeez, Jesus Christ, Brandon.
Yep. Another trailer that we watched is the Guardians of the 3 trailer. I know a lot of people have already seen this. I'm way more excited for that than
Ant-Man.
Ant-Man 3. But I also got kind of tearied up when we saw little baby Rocket.
Yeah.
And I remember James Gunn saying to him, Rocket Raccoon is like the loneliest person in the galaxy. Right. And so like seeing that, and like obviously we're gonna get like a lot of context on Rocket's like, origin story. I think the brother who was in Peacemaker, who's in the blue outfit and shit. I think he's the one that comic book character creates Rocket Raccoon. So we're gonna get a lot of backstory. Now there is like it's a great music and stuff. And John Cantu, friend of the show, says that James Gunn's very particular in the music that he uses in trailers. We see the Guardians crying over somebody's body that's bleeding or at least dying. And I think the red herring is that we obviously assume that it's Rocket Raccoon because he also says, we'll go off together into the great beyond or whatever.
Yeah.
But based on everything that he's been saying in interviews, I think Drax might be the one that dies and they all cry over.
Yeah, I think so too.
Because Dave Bautista's been very vocal about this is my last movie in the MCU.
And I mean, you just look at Dave Bautista's career in the last few years and like the things that he's been doing and been coming out recently. I'm like, yeah, he's moving on.
Was also I've said this on a recent podcast. Supporter of the show, Craig Lindsay has a podcast, and I said Dave Bautista, and I agree with James Gunn when he said this, has the best wrestler to actor career because
yeah, for sure.
Because a lot of people are like, no, The Rock's made more money, but I'm like, Dave Bautista's like a legit actor in my eyes. Like I sometimes forget that he was a wrestler because he's been in so many good movies and played different characters. It's not like he plays the same dude. Like the little character he had in Blade Runner 2049 to, Army of the Dead to Drax to Glass Onion, he plays a huge array of characters, whereas The Rock, and we'll talk about this when we review Black Adam soon, just plays it the same all the time. Even when he's supposed to be an anti-hero or a good guy or a bad guy, it's always the same performance.
Yeah, kind
of. And so I applaud Dave Bautista on kind of taking control and saying like, hey, yeah, I could keep eating off this Marvel character, but at the end of the day, I want to do other things. And I respect it.
Well, you know what? It's funny because like when everything first started, Batista actually started doing good work, and especially once he got the Marvel money, and and then when the James Gunn stuff came out, and like he was taken off, he got brought back, and that whole debacle, and he was kind of like, he's like, well, if he's off, I'm quitting.
Yeah, he was immediately ready to go.
Yeah, and like when that happened, I was just like, bro, don't fuck up the bag. It's like, what are you doing? Like, you're a wrestler. You got in this thing. Like, you need to fucking milk this shit. Bro, I was wrong. Mainly because, like, at that time, I didn't realize actually how talented he was.
Yeah.
He's actually he's a very talented performer. And I don't think anyone thought that he would have been the guy, from the WWF, WWE, to kind of break out and start to really doing some serious work. But he is like, yeah, The Rock is one of the most popular people, to do wrestling and then transition to being like one of the highest paid actors on the planet. But Dave Bautista is a better performer than he is. Mm-hmm. He's not a better wrestler. He's not a better like a name. Yeah. But he like talent wise, and overall just like doing the work, it's hands down.
He's worked with Denis Villeneuve twice, actually 3 times because he's in Dune Part 2. He's worked with Rian Johnson. He's worked with Sam Mendes. He's James Gunn. He's worked with so many fantastic directors, and you only do that if people, one, like working with you, and 2, if you're a good actor, you're good at what you do.
Yeah.
And he's playing off of strong actors too. It's not like he's like the most popular, biggest person on set.
And like, what's that movie with the hotel something? Oh fuck!
Who else is in it?
I want to say Jodie Foster. I don't think it was Jodie.
The Artemis or whatever the fuck.
Yeah, the Artemis Hotel. Like that. Like one. Even that. It was actually a really dope movie, and he was great in it. And again, huge different ranges as far as who the character he played. Like when I watch his movies, I'm thoroughly impressed by how much he's able to morph into someone else, especially considering
his
how
body type.
big of a fucking person he is. You know what I'm saying? Exactly, and to make himself seem small enough that he can actually be somebody else, and convincingly enough. Like he's by like leaps and bounds, he's the best wrestler turn actor. And like somebody was trying to say, oh, it's actually John Cena. It's like John Cena is like, we saw Fast and Furious fucking was it 8 or 9?
9. That's when he comes in.
Yeah. We saw that shit.
Yeah.
It is not him. It is not him.
He should just do comedies because he is funny in comedies. Like he did this movie with Lil Rel that I thought was really funny. Cock Blockers or whatever they ended up changing that name to. I thought that was funny. But James Gunn, and this is what James Gunn does, he gives people sometimes their best roles because Peacemaker is actually a perfect fit for him.
Mhm.
But it's also like so unique that you can't really transfer that to feature characters. You know what?
Yeah, because he's playing a bumbling idiot.
Exactly. Yeah. But yeah, hey folks, that's our take on Dave Bautista. But he doesn't do his own movie. Well, I mean, I'm sure he does some stunts, but he doesn't do all the stunts in his films, unlike Mr. Tom Cruise, who I guess recently released an IMAX trailer of just a stunt that he did for the newest Mission Impossible movie. I mean, we've already talked about how he wants to clearly die making a movie. He's going to die for entertainment for our eyes.
How old is Tom Cruise? 61?
Yeah, I think maybe even older, dude. I think maybe even older.
Oh, he's 60. He's 60. He's 60 on the fucking dot.
Got it.
Okay. Well, he'll turn 61 this year.
Okay. I thought he was older for some reason.
No, I knew he was like right in the 60 range.
Yeah.
Tom Cruise is a fucking madman.
Yes, he is. Yes.
But Tom Cruise is in the madman range that's dedicated for people like him and like Jackie Chan. And there's not many people who are in that fucking ballpark. The fact that he's 60 years old and he wants to do these fucking stunts and dedicate all that time, I mean, it's great. It is great. And I implore him to like, yo, bro, do your shit. Like, if this is what you want to ride on that shit. Because this is, there's an art, built around, doing solid stunts and all that kind of stuff. I'm here for it. But at the same time, is he doing these stunts for an audience that really cares? You know
I think so. I think he knows what.
Hold on. I only say that because 90% of people out there don't realize what goes into doing all this stuff that he's doing, because everything is so computer animated that so many people just assume everything's computer animated, and it kills the mystique of the fact that this guy is really doing this shit.
Not with Tom Cruise, though. I think that's the one thing that he's done really well his whole career when he's not doing dramatic or random comedy roles. Like since Mission Impossible 2, like they've been talking about how he does these stunts. Like I remember MTV, especially because that's, we're that age now, right? So we're in part of a whole generation that knows from MTV when he made Mission Impossible 2, when he's doing the motorcycles and he's jumping in the sky and he's fucking punching people, like he's really doing that. So now we're older, and so we know that. So we're telling younger people, yo, Tom Cruise really does this shit. And the older generation, they also know it. So he's one of the few stars that everyone kind of knows what they're capable of, right? It's kind of like Leonardo and Denzel, I would say, are like the other actors where Denzel is Denzel. He's a fantastic actor. Whatever he does, it's going to be interesting. Or Leo, you're like, he's grown so much as an actor. Like I always want to see what he does next. Like Tom Cruise is just the action version of that.
Here's the thing, though: the younger generation don't give a fuck.
Well, you don't think so because you old man Brown now.
No, but a lot of younger people don't give a fuck. It's just like, oh, like, he does his own stunts. Like, okay, but they could have just computer generated and it probably would look better.
Well, you keep saying computer animated and generated.
Yeah, I'm sorry. But I'm getting it. It's just like I just like I like again, like I enjoy it. Like I loved, like, bro, there's Tony Jaa, sorry. He did there's some things that he does in his movies which are almost like it looks like they're physically impossible, but this dude, like he can do them, and I think that's fucking amazing. And that's one of the reasons I'm in. Comes like, because I know he's gonna do some next level shit that I know I could even fucking when I was at the peak performance, I would never be able to pull off some shit like that. And that shit's dope to me, right?
Performance Brown.
But most people don't think like that.
Yeah.
He was just like, okay, well, yeah, he was on wire. It's like, no, well, prove me he wasn't. Everyone sits there and talks about it on the internet. It's like, this is a fake. Everything's fucking
Well,
fake now. It's like, this is
I,
the world we live in, though. It's the current state of the world. I'm just like, I just hope that people actually appreciate what's going on, what they're seeing. But
mhm.
but also people don't appreciate it because they're not even watching them. They're on their phones.
Well, I mean, Top Gun did make over $1 billion, so
True.
I think this might be the most successful Mission Impossible movie, which is saying a lot because this is like
Yeah.
the eighth one or some shit, and it's
Yeah.
part one. It's Mission Impossible: Dead Reckoning Part One.
Yeah.
So he's got even more shit up his sleeve, I think. But folks, that's our movie news and trailer talk mini episode. Again, if you enjoyed this extra content, please let us know by tweeting at us. Justin, how could they tweet at you?
You hit me up at J Brown did it on all the socials, Brandon.
Yep. Y'all can hit me up on American Collins and the show at Medium P Podcast on all social media platforms. Be sure to go to youtube.com/media popcorn. Push that subscribe button so you can see our ugly mugs when we do new reviews, as well as celebrity interviews.
And
And
also,
again,
guys,
yeah.
if you're, if you have some takes on some of the things that we discuss, leave us a voicemail 347-508-0978.
That's right. We'll use this time in the new mini episodes to listen to them and react and stuff. So be sure to flood our voice box. Whether you like us, you love us, you hate us, we want to hear from you. So again, what's that number, Justin?
347-508-0978.
Absolutely. And again, if you like the content, let us know because we'll stop doing this stuff if y'all not listen to our takes on these trailers and movies. This takes a lot of time. So
Yeah, indeed. Indeed, it does.
So please let us know if you enjoy this extra content. Otherwise, we'll just go back to re-releasing. But regardless, if you want exclusive access to Medium Popcorn content, be sure to take yourselves over to patreon.com/medium popcorn. We have $2, $5, $10, and $15 tiers all available. And most of this only costs less than a cup of coffee a month. So, and you get a whole month of content. You know what I mean? So, well, you got a little pube on your microphone? Wow.
Yep, a little pube. Because I be fucking these microphones, baby.
Hey, it's black. It's black and long. I get it. All right, folks. Toodles.
Peace.